There is no name for a mother who loses a child, and there are no words to describe the pain she endures every single day. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Ife. On this channel, we talk about things we are not taught in school. On the month of October, we create awareness to loss of a child. We recognize the unimaginable pains parents go through when they lost their child. Most times people think that parents goes before their child, but sometimes nature plays differently. The child sometimes go before parents, and that's life. The truth is that this is a life that we live, and most things are very uncertain, but there are certain things that we all know that must happen. Death and pain are one certain process of life that no matter what you do, who you are, you don't escape these facts. In today's video, we are talking to parents who have lost their child. We want them to understand that they are not alone, they are never alone. And then we want to talk to relatives and families of these people to know the right things to do when someone is grieving or mourning the death of a child. The right things to say and the right things to do. Stick with me and don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel if you like what we are doing here. Stick around. There is actually no words to describe the pain a parent goes through when she has to bury her own child, and there is no name mapped out for parents who lost their own child. Losing a child is one of the most painful. It is not just the loss of a life that is more particularly painful. It is the milestone. It is the birthdays. It is the parties. It's so painful and it can't be described. It's a feeling of loneliness that no one could connect to except the person who has gone through it. And today we want to recognize that this pain didn't just happen to them, but is a pain that is shared by all of us. Whether the loss of a child is a miscarriage, in stillbirth, or whether you've known the child's name, or whatever, however it is that you know you have lost a child. This month is dedicated to let you understand that we connect with you, we relate with you, we understand you are one of us, and we know exactly what you're going through. I have lost a child multiple times. I've had multiple miscarriages, and I know how hard it is for me losing these pregnancies, mostly because I so much needed to have kids. This video was actually inspired by a friend of mine because she's actually in her early 30s. She had some issues with conception, unexplainable issues, and all of a sudden she got pregnant. We're all happy. She carried this baby to term, had this baby, very beautiful, wonderful baby girl. Then after a few days of our joy climaxing, everybody was so happy. They closed the rooms, her clothes, everything was set up, boards. We can smell the room and I can smell the clothes and everything. And I got this call, and it was one of the worst news I've heard this year. She lost this baby. Her pain was unimaginable. I just can't connect. It was hard. I know if you've never lost a baby, you don't understand the pain that comes with it. And here is the thing. Losses are so painful, especially a child. Nothing can be compared to you losing your baby, right? But this particular thing that happens to most parents when they lost their baby is that feeling of guilt. So I had to listen to her, and I need to hear her talk because I know she needed me. So many times she doesn't want to talk to no one, and some other times she wants to talk to everyone and say a lot of things. I can understand that emotions, that up down side emotions. And some days when I allow her to speak to me, she said something very profound. So one day I got a call from her. She told me that it's hard for people to understand part of the pain she endured losing this baby. And then I listened, and she continued. She said it is actually in her imagination. The last moment she was there, she saw how the baby was struggling. They have to cut her hair to zero so that they can pass on drip to keep her alive. How the baby was struggling in the air and before she gave up. This for her, imagination keeps her awake every night, and she felt she could have done more. And I have to tell her the truth. Like, we don't usually have the right words, but the truth of the matter is that there is nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything to make this thing happen. You are a perfect mother. Look at you. You bought all the clothes. You set up the room. You lit all the candles. We were so happy. Everything was going on so well. And all of a sudden, our joy cut short. You wanted this baby. She's aware. It's not her fault. It's not your fault. These things happen. So she struggles. She's trying to fight for her life. But just like in everything, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, and it's okay. It's life. That's the bad side of life. But I want you to understand that it's not your fault. There is nothing you did or you are doing or you've done that made this baby to live. There is nothing you would have done differently that made this baby to live. I cannot explain a lot of things right now, but I know one thing for sure. In time, we'll put things together and realize, why do things happen? I try to be very sensitive when I'm talking to people who lost their baby, because I know that when I lost my baby, a lot of people said things to me that I do not like. I'm going to talk about the things that you shouldn't tell anyone who has lost their baby. The words you should be very careful with when speaking to someone who is going through grief, because sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. This part is dedicated to families and loved ones who are around those who are mourning their own child. I needed to let you guys know the right things to do, how not to do it when someone is mourning. So the first thing you have to bear in mind is when you come to a family that is grieving, all you need to do is to just sit down and listen. Just listen to every rant, listen to every complaint, every blame. If they have something to say, don't judge, just listen. Don't try to correct. Listen. Do nothing. Just listen. Even when they don't say a word, just sit beside them and listen. Sometimes we think silence doesn't speak. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. They will feel your presence while you say nothing, because they know that you feel their pain as much as they do. So you actively get involved by being present. Another one you can do to support someone who is grieving is to ask if you can help them with other house chores, with daycare or child. If they have other kids, there are other things you could ask them you would want to support them with. So you can give a hand to something. They will know that they are not alone, that they have a strong support system, or at least someone actually cares. Just ask, what can I help you do? Do you want me to look after the other kids? Do you want me to run laundry for you? Just ask something. There's something they could want you to do. Do you want me to prepare meals for you? Or just ask. And don't ever worry if you don't have the perfect word. Be fully present. Your presence is felt. If you are in the energy of what they are going through, they would connect with that energy. Your presence sometimes is everything. Again, we grieve differently. Some of us have different ways that we grieve. Some people want to talk about their loss. Some people don't want to talk about it. So try to respect either way, or however you sense that they feel to talk about it. You can do that by simply asking, do you want us to talk about that? I'm here to support. I'm here to listen to you. Say whatever you want to say. I'm listening. You can actually have a way that could break them apart or open them up to have a conversation with you. So another part is to check in regularly. I noticed one thing in our human culture. When we are with people who are grieving, we just visit them once and that's it. But that's not the right process. I feel we all deserve constant checkups. Always call, always ask, continue. Let the person feel that they have you to lean on. Don't just visit them that day and the second day and that's it. You mind your own business. Grief is a strong and a long process. People go through stages before they come to accept what has happened to them. And when they are going through those processes, they may need you in the anger process, in the depression process, in the regret process, in the guilt process, before they come to a point of accepting that, oh, it has happened, this is what it is, and then they move on. But while they are doing that, let us be part of their community, who speaks to them, who listens to them, who they know that they are in support of their grief.